Hey there, gang. Patrick King here, coming to you live from Negley, Ohio, teaching this weekend at Simmons Equestrian Center here in Negley. Today's question comes to us from Mary Jo. Mary Jo says, I'm fostering a yearling filly for the Heart of Phoenix Equine Rescue. That's actually where this hat comes from. She's a starvation case that was found wandering around in West Virginia. I can address the physical issues, but I'm concerned about how to get her to like people. I realize she has no reason to like people, but I've never had this with any of my Arabians, no matter what their history was. Please offer me some suggestions. I'm trying to be non-direct line, etc., but I need to earn some respect without fear before she gets big and strong. She's as stiff as a board also. You're the person I'm most confident in turning to for help. Thank you. So that's very sweet of you, Mary Jo. I appreciate that, that you're turning to me for help with this. So as I said, this hat actually comes from Heart of Phoenix Equine Rescue. If anybody's interested in supporting a rescue, Heart of Phoenix receives some of, I've got to say, some of the worst cases I think I've ever seen, and they do a fantastic job. They're a great group of people. We support them 100%. They're just great folks. So look up Heart of Phoenix Equine Rescue if you're looking for a horse rescue to support. So back to Mary Jo's question about the yearling. You're right. She's got no good reason to trust people if she was found wandering around. One of the things you mentioned that she was stiff as, or that she is stiff as a board. I'm assuming you mean as far as bending and moving and things like that. Now, kind of knowing the area and that sort of thing, I would say be sure as soon as possible, kind of have a Lyme's check done on her to see if she's potentially got Lyme's disease or any of the other tick-borne diseases that we're starting to see out there. It's amazing the explosion that we're seeing in tick-borne diseases, Lyme's disease, Ehrlichia, anaplasmosis, a lot of different things. It's going to be important to check those things out. And so getting back to kind of the meat and potatoes of the question, how do I get this yearling horse to kind of respect me and to like me at the same time? That's something that's going to take, of course, quite a bit of time. It's going to take quite a bit of work. I recommend, depending on how far along you have her at this point, a lot of work in hand with her, just kind of hanging out, you know, seeing if you can get her to just sort of be with you. Find all of her itchy spots when you're scratching and rubbing and grooming and that sort of thing. I'm a big fan of kind of being the ice cream truck, you know. I've always in the past kind of gone out into the pasture with my horses or the horses I've had in training, and I'll kind of whistle a little tune to them, and I'll have a pocket full or a handful of goodies. All the kids come running when they hear the tune from the ice cream truck, right? So I've always found it really important to catch all the horses that I had multiple times a day, give them cookies sometimes, work them sometimes, so they never really know what's coming, whether it's going to be a cookie or a job. And when it is a job, especially in this case, when the horse has got trust issues, I'm going to try to find kind of the cookies that she likes the best, the itchy spots that she likes scratched the best, the tasks that she feels the most confident with, and those are going to be the things that I'm going to do when I'm with her. Of course, establishing respect as a yearling, working on basic yields, basic leg handling, backing off the lead rope, moving shoulders, hips, that sort of thing. Lots of general, I don't like to think desensitizing so much because we see some folks over desensitize a horse, but I want to make sure that she can handle things like a fly spray, things like the lead rope being tossed around her, and that sort of kind of general stuff. But the biggest thing to me when we're working with a horse like this is spend a lot of time just being there. A lot of people have a tendency to be really busy when they're working with a horse, and they don't spend enough time just relaxing. A good friend of mine once said, you know, we're referred to as human beings, not human doings. And I really like that. I think about that a lot of times when I see somebody who's fidgety and itchy and just has to move and has to do something with their horse, has to pick at this and has to work on that and has to get improvements with these things. It's something where, can we just be there with our horse? You know, I mean, if you think about it, there's people that you spend time with that they're so anxious. They've got to get things done. They've got to do this. They've got to do that. They've got their lists, and they've got their agendas, and they've got their tasks, and they've got their goals, and they've got their, you know, and I'm not saying those things are bad, but sometimes we can overdo that, right? Especially when we're talking about hanging out with a horse, right? And if you're with a person like that, or you're around a person like that, you kind of, I feel like you kind of a lot of times would rather be someplace else. And then there's times you spend with other folks where, man, it's just really comfortable to just kind of hang out and chill out with them. So can we be that kind of person for our horse? So with a yearling like this, again, special case because she's a starvation case and that sort of thing, I might hand feed this horse as many of the meals as I can. You know, I kind of border on this idea. You hear a lot of trainers, a lot of horsemen that are not all about hand feeding horses and feeding treats and things like that. I don't know. I think that's okay. I think it's a great thing so long as it's tempered with respect, right? Respect this way with our horses is kind of, to me, like respect with our dogs or respect with our kids. If the dog is begging for scraps at the table, I'm probably not going to give them any. Right? Even my daughter has me pretty well trained. She just turned 7 not too long ago, and she's so funny. She says, "Dad, there's a toy store there." And you know, I really don't need any or want any new toys, but wouldn't it be great if we could go look at them? Right? She's learned this idea that if she asks, the answer's probably no. But if she doesn't ask and there's something cool, maybe she might get a goodie, right? She might get a bonus. So I feel like it's that way with our horses too. If they're begging and asking, oh, the answer is going to be no. But if they're not begging, if they're not asking, if we're just chilling out together, having, you know, kind of relaxed time, or if they give me a really great effort, I might have an extra bonus, an extra peppermint, an extra cookie, or something like that for them. Or maybe we'll just spend 10 or 15 minutes just hanging out, doing nothing. And that's going to be really important for a horse like this who, as Mary Jo has said, has no other real reason to like or care for or look to people at all, because for, you know, whoever knows how long, she's had to fend for herself. So she kind of knows what it's like to be out on her own, you know, fending for herself, living in the real world. So this reminds me a lot of a quote that I quote oftentimes from a good friend of mine, Tom Curtin. He's got a great way of saying this. He says, you know, it really doesn't matter what I think of your horsemanship, and it doesn't matter much either what you think of your horsemanship. What's important is how your horse feels about himself when he's with you. I think about that all the time. I relay that to people. I would probably say that I quote Tom on that 5 or 6 times a week at a minimum. By now, I'm probably misquoting him as many times as I've said it, but I think it's good sound advice regardless. How does your horse feel about themselves when they're with you? So are you the type of handler, and Mary Jo, who asked this question, I know that she's not the type of handler we're going to talk about. Are you the type of handler that's banging away and demanding and always asking? I know Mary Jo is not that type, so I know I'm safe in saying this. I've worked with Mary Jo, I've ridden with Mary Jo a couple times at clinics now. I know she's the kind of handler, she's the kind of horsewoman that when the horse gives her something great, something good, she's going to give a nice long bonus for the horse. She's going to give them that paycheck and allow them to stand still and relax. That's really important. Can you allow your horse to feel really good when they give you something good around you or with you? That's going to be really important. Can you always present yourself to your horse in such a way that makes them feel like they're great? They can't give a wrong answer, but you can offer them a little insight. You know, it's kind of a tricky thing to do, especially with a horse that maybe has a mixed past, but that's what I'm going to offer as insight there. Have the goodies handy. Again, if they beg or they ask or they insist, the answer is going to be no, but if they give you good positive things, then there might be a bonus for it. And make sure with all of the work that you do that you're spending lots of extra time hanging out with them, just being okay, finding their good itchy spots and things like that. It's about building their confidence and helping them to feel confident in who they are as an individual. That's really important. So I hope, Mary Jo, that this question or this answer has been helpful to you and this yearling. I hope you'll send me some photos, send me some updates on this horse. If this question for our viewers out here, if this question has been helpful to you, please share this video. If you can think of a friend of yours or someone else you might know who could use this advice, please tag them in the comments section below. Question of the day for you. Again, we're talking about Heart of Phoenix Equine Rescue. This hat coming from them. I teach clinic with them. We've done clinics with them for the last couple years. Fantastic organization. I'm going to try to link them up. If somebody else doesn't beat me to it, I'm going to try to link them up in the comments section below this video. Please check them out, and if you're looking for a rescue to support, they are a fantastic one. I recommend them 100%. Question for the day. Do you have any experience working with, fostering, adopting a rescue horse? Tell me about it. If you've got some photos to share, please, please, please share them in the comments section below this video. I look forward to hearing your comments, reading your comments, seeing your photos if you have any. And don't forget, gang, you keep submitting questions, and I'm going to keep talking about horses. Thanks so much.